everyone, welcome to another Adobe Premiere tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll be talking about how you would assemble a stop motion animation. So in one of our recent build-its and college eats, we made sugar cookies and tried to make it stop motion. So here you see all of the different pictures that I took in my stop motion sequences. The first thing I'm going to do is to separate these out by the shot that it's in. I have 258 items selected, which can be a little bit overwhelming, but you can create like a new folder. I'll call this one dry ingredients. And then I'm going to drag everything in my dry ingredients. You know what? I'm going to even do less of that. I'm going to do everything up until when the whisk comes in. And then drag that in here. And then I'll probably create like another folder called dry ingredients whisk. And then this is where I whisked everything. And then in here, I also made the mistake of having my hand in the shot, and I remembered that. It might also be useful for you to take any pictures in the middle here, just to separate things out. So these ones are going to be my transition to the wet ingredients. So I will go ahead and create another folder for that, and so forth and so on. Okay, and here are all of my different shots or different ways that I wanted to clean everything up. If you're doing like a longer video, you might want to split it up by like different takes or shots or number these so that it makes it more meaningful for you. But for now, for me, this is enough. So then I'm going to go into each individual folder and then um, and then you can see here how my camera, it gives me kind of like a timestamp, or I'm not exactly sure what these numbers mean, but it doesn't really go from like 91 to 92. It jumps all the way to 20 to 300 something something something. So I am going to rename them all, let's say like butter, and then I want enough digits so that it will give me all of them. So this is probably in the tens, so I want to do like butter 01. And then this one will be butter 02. And then I'm going to go ahead and name all of those so that when I go into Premiere, I can actually import all of these as a photo sequence or as an image sequence instead of having to import them one by one. So that now I have renamed all of my butters so that they go in chronological order, and they're consecutive so that there isn't any break in between them. So for example, I wanted to import my image sequence and I only had 01 and then it jumped to 03. It would only import this one image and it would be like half a second. So now I'm going to go back into my folders and then do the same with my other folders. So here, I'm just noticing this as I'm going through my pictures, but I can see that my hand comes in, it goes up, and then it goes back down. But between these two frames, there's kind of like a big jump, and I saw here that this could be a potentially nice transition in between these two. So I just made a copy of the fourth frame, and then I'm going to rename it C for cleanup 07 so that it goes after my sixth frame to make kind of more of a transition. I might want to take the third frame now that I'm looking at it a little bit more and put that in between here as well. But that's just another trick as you're going through and numbering these. This is easy for me to see because there's not that many frames. But if you were doing this with a longer sequence, you might want to like figure it out in Premiere more. Okay, and now that everything is named, then I can go into my Premiere that I have set up. For import media to start, I'm going to right click and hit import, and then I'm going to find my folder in my computer, and then I can just select a folder, select the first image, and then check image sequence, and then it'll load. I can drag this up here to, it's pretty speedy right now, but we can fix that later. My other ones, and then do the same thing, check that image sequence, and wait for it to load. And then now I can assemble, so if I click into something, I can scrub through and see what it is. My first one should be my dry ingredients, where my ingredients come in, and then the whisk just starts to come in. So there I can just drag this to my video. Next one should be me whisking. And I can drag that in here as well. And then I can just keep assembling. Also, if you want to edit while you go, you can always just hit play and then see if you like the speed. So I think this is a little bit too fast, so I'm going to right click, select speed and duration, and then change the speed to 50%. You kind of want to do it by like half, so that it doesn't like have fractions of frames in between. So that did a weird thing. I think it was just a lagging issue. Okay, that looks okay to me, but it's still a little too fast. Especially in, I want this transition to take a little bit longer. So I'm going to find the frame that it changes over to this frame. And then I'm going to slice that apart. And then let's say I'll make it right click, speed duration. It'll pop up a little window. I'll make this one 25%. And then we can play around with that and see how we like that. I also wanted just to pause here so that people can see what the ingredients are. But I don't want to catch it in between frames. So you can see that this is where my frame is. You can use this to zoom in more to see and scroll, but this looks like one frame that it's active on. So I'm going to move everything off to the side. And because this one, I want it to like hold for a while and it's only one frame, I can use this duration here thing on the bottom. Let's make that maybe like 30 seconds. Oop, that might be a little bit too much. But we can see how that feels. There's a little bit of a lagging issue there. I can try it again. Okay. So I'm kind of liking that so far. I'm just going to go ahead with the rest of my clips to see how I like their pacing together. As I'm editing, I see one frame with my hand in it, so I'm going to also want to cut that out. So this is the frame that it appears. This is where it disappears. I'll just delete this one. It doesn't seem like that important for frame anyways. Okay, and then we'll see how that looks. looks fine. But I just don't want my hand to flicker in. If your computer is as bad as mine and it keeps lagging when you're trying to preview it, and so you can't really tell if you like the pacing, as long as it's short like mine, 30 seconds, it might be beneficial for you to just export it as a video and then rewatch it, or export parts of a video um, for you if it's a longer video. So I'm going to export this really quick. And this is what that looks like.